welcome back to another tutorial for my channel. One I thought about doing last week, and I made one earlier and I posted it on my Instagram, and I was like, do people still use bookmarks? I mean, obviously I'm sure people still read, you know, we have not 100% went over to, you know, Kindle, iPad books, not 100%, I don't think yet. But anyways, so I got this idea the other day. I was in Joann Fabrics and they had a bookmark, like an old vintage, well, it was like vintage style. It wasn't vintage itself, but it was a bookmark like the old ladies on like the croquis on like the patterns that you'd buy, like the vintage ones. And it was cute, so I thought, oh, you know, I should make a bookmark, a nice one. So I got this book a long time ago. A cousin of mine gave it to me. And I never really thought of what I could do with it because I didn't want to cut him without a purpose, like to use it for a really long time, because it's very pretty. And it's just like, they're just paper dolls. Let me show you a page that I haven't. But like, it has all these really cool Japanese kimono type things for paper dolls. Like, it's really, really pretty. And then other places you could get paper dolls, you know, Pinterest, Google, paper doll. So let me go ahead and tell you what you need in order to do this project. If you have a book like this, where it's kind of like cardstock already, then you could just use this and some construction paper just to cover the back. Since if you're going to dress your paper doll, there's going to be like layering in the back. So you want to just cover that. This one I made earlier, I covered the back with green construction paper, and I made a matching tassel. And then I covered it in Mod Podge just to seal it so it becomes a little stiffer. But I think this one's pretty. So I cut out another one. So yeah, so if you have a book like that that's already kind of cardstock, then you can kind of get away with just a construction paper background. Or you can print them out from the web, and then in that case, then you would definitely need cardstock to reinforce the back. Like, you would glue it to the back and then cut it out. So that way it's stiff, because if you just use paper, I mean, paper won't really last too long. So I feel like this is gonna last a little bit longer than if you just, you know, cut a piece of paper out. Also, you're gonna need glue stick, paper scissors, which I have, your template for the paper doll, whatever you're gonna choose. Oh, drop something. Parchment paper. I will explain why. If you don't have parchment paper, you could probably get away with like aluminum foil or wax paper maybe, but I always go to parchment paper. I use it in all my sewing crafts when I have to glue stuff to put under, or just paper crafts too in general. Like, I use this for so much other things other than baking. So that, some Mod Podge. I have furniture Mod Podge, but ideally they sell paper Mod Podge, which would be better, but you know, I'm just working with what I got. And then just like a heavy book, because once you start gluing it and you start sealing with the Mod Podge, it gets wet, so the paper tends to like kind of spring up and dry like this. So you want to have like a book to squish it down, so that way it doesn't curl up too much, and then you have like a flat bookmark. Okay, so I already cut out my little lady, and there were so many beautiful kimonos in this paper doll book that I had, but I picked this one for what she's gonna wear here. So I'm gonna cut this out, use my paper scissors. Let me just cut this whole thing out. Another cool thing I was thinking while I was making these, like once you actually finish and seal it, you know, you could use it as a bookmarker, but also if you wanted to, you could do like a mobile of the paper dolls that you're making, you know, whatever that is. Even on Pinterest right now, I saw some that were like steampunk paper dolls, which looked like freaking cool, but I have this one and I already started cutting it out, so I gotta use it. But that's just another idea. Another idea I thought of was, you know, like you can hang stuff if it's allowed in your in your state hang stuff from your rearview mirror. You know how some people throw their like Mardi Gras beads over it, or they hang something cute. You could also do that with some paper dolls. Not sure about the longevity on that though, since the sun does eat up color and it might fade, but that's also just another idea or place that you could use your paper dolls. So there's like a lot of stuff you could do with paper dolls. I think they're really pretty. And then also, if you don't want, just skipping ahead, if you don't want to make your own tassel, what a secondary idea I thought of was if you could go to Dollar Tree and just get one of those fans. Most of those fans come with little tassel, and it's only $1, so you could just like buy it and cut the little tassel off, and then you don't have to bother with making it. But that's if you want it, that's optional. But I find it to be a nice little touch when you add a tassel to it. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is use my stick of glue, and I'm going to glue on her clothes. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue this together and then let it dry for a couple minutes. So now that I have her little outfit glued on, let me flip this so you can see. See, I like that already. So on yours, if you put the cardstock already in the back, oh, this will be the same step for the cardstock, but I'm not using cardstock because this is already kind of hard as it is, but I do have the layering, so you see, you know, the body and then the outfit. So that I'm gonna cover with the construction paper that I was talking about. And if you don't have layering on your paper doll, then you can just do, let me see, would blue match? Let's see. I'll use some pink paper for this paper doll. So if you're doing it how I'm doing it, then just lay it out and then get pen, pencil, marker, whatever you have available. And then just outline her, and then cut that out from either your cardstock or your construction paper. Now, once you glue it to the back of your paper doll, as you can see, I have some red coming out. You might not get it, you know, it might glue and you might not be able to get it perfect. So at this time, if you have stuff peeking out from behind it, just give it a little trim and then just like clean up the edges, you know what I mean? So once you have all this cleaned off, then get a paintbrush and then go ahead and then just saturate it with Mod Podge front and back, so that way you can seal it. And I'll show you in a second what I do with the parchment paper, because like I said, I always use it when I'm gluing stuff down. It just, you know, stuff just doesn't stick to it. So I use it, you know, when I do beading on mesh fabric or this, stuff like that. So that's why I recommend that you also use it. Maybe do like 2 coats of it on your bookmark, front and back. And just be gentle, because if you're really hard on the edges while it's kind of wet with this, it can curl up and then it won't look as nice when you're done, you know? So I did my 2 coats, and I sandwiched the paper doll in between 2 clean pieces of parchment paper. And then as you can see, I just put my book down here just to hold it. as I explained, because if it's wet and it dries, it tends to curl up. And you definitely want a flat bookmark, so just do it this way and let it dry. In the meantime, let me show you how to make a tassel. All you need is some embroidery floss and a business card. I know I'm like so not technical with these things. Let me show you. God, if I can grab it, that would be awesome. Okay, so basically all you do is you'll start wrapping it, not super tight, but not too loose either. Not enough to, you know, like really bend the card severely. And then once you have a good amount there, and just cut off your little tail. Where are my good scissors? There you go. Just cut off a little tail like that. And then you're going to scoot it off. Okay. Then up here in this loop, you're gonna take some, you know, random tail piece, and you're gonna thread it through that tunnel that you see here. And then you're gonna just make a knot and leave your tail. Don't go and trim it just yet, because right now we're gonna use this. Oh man, we're gonna use this tail to tie it to your bookmark, which to the hole, which we'll be making with a hole punch. So this will hold it. And then while you have that, get another stray piece. Thought I had another one. Let me cut it from this. And just tie it about there. That's like, what, half an inch from the top. Right there. So that's good right there. And then maybe do like a double knot just so it doesn't unravel in time. And then here, and then I'll just clip the little ends here. Okay. And then lastly, this part here, if you can get your fingers through it, just take your scissors and then cut through that bottom there. And then just kind of comb it out, and there's your tassel. If you're a little uneven on the end, then just, you know, give it a further haircut to make it a little more even somewhat. Let me do a double knot. See, I didn't do a double knot up here. Did I? I don't even remember. I'll review it when I get the video. Let me tie that one off really tight. Okay, I don't think that one's moving. Okay, so I have it, the little octopus.
What do you think?
And then while this is still drying, I won't do it just yet. But as you can see on my other piece, I just, with the hole puncher, I just made a hole through her head, and I tied the tassel, and then that is pretty much it. And I'll show you the other one when I'm done. Okay, so that's the end of this tutorial. Here's my finished lady. Here's my other lady in one of my favorite books. Shout out to Bruce Campbell. Hey. Okay. And then I'll put the name of that Kimono paper book down below if you really like what you saw. It's a very pretty book. I mean, I definitely wouldn't cut it out unless I was going to use it for a craft or to frame or something, because they're very beautiful printouts of kimono and Japanese lady paper dolls. Very pretty. So that's that. That's that. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.